This is a summary and recap of Big Brother International Season 3, Episode 19. It's the 32nd night of the game. Florence and Carmen talk about how shocked they are that Pascal ended up going. Florence feels like Hannah wanted to make a move to have something to feel proud of. Carmen is extremely pissed off that she ended up keeping a duo in the house in Sammy and Ray. Hannah, Sammy, and Ray chat in the secret room about the vote just earlier. Hannah apologizes for keeping her vote to herself the whole time and says she needed to ensure Pascal had no reason to campaign to her. Sammy thanks her for keeping her and says he's still trembling at the fact that he stayed. Florence and Carmen play some chess later and discuss how they need the challenge win tomorrow. If neither of them win, they will have to befriend the winner to get their vote in the case of a 2-2 tie at the vote. Florence thinks it would be easier to convince Ray because he has a more open mind at this point than Hannah and Sammy. It's day 33, and it's time for the Nominator Challenge. In this challenge, everyone will go individually and throw a bowling ball twice down the lane and hit as many pins down as possible. The houseguest with the most total points by the end will win the challenge and put 3 houseguests up for eviction. The challenge starts with Ray rolling his bowling balls, and his first shot earns him 0 points, while the second shot earns him 6, making his total score 6 points. Florence is next, and he scores a 6 and then a 0, making his total also 6 points, tied for first with Ray. Sammy is up next, and he scores 1 point for his first shot, and then an impressive 10 points for his second shot, making him the leader with 11 points total. Carmen is next and misses all 10 pins for both of her shots, meaning she's eliminated with 0 points. Hannah is up last, and she scores a 10 on her first shot. For her second shot, she misses completely and earns 0 points, meaning her score is 10. That results in Sammy as the next Nominator winner. Sammy has a plan in mind to get himself to Final 3, and in his mind, he feels like he has a better chance if Carmen goes home tonight because it leaves Florence in the game at Final 4 as everyone's target. Therefore, Sammy first nominates Carmen as his target because he worries that Ray or Hannah will try to keep her for Final 3. In that case, Sammy makes a bold move here by nominating Ray and Hannah next to Carmen. Ray isn't going home at all in Sammy's mind, and Hannah is an easy decoy plan for Florence to believe in. In that case, Florence would vote Hannah, but Ray and Hannah would vote for Carmen, meaning Sammy can break the tie to evict Carmen and force Hannah to target Florence next round. In the house, Sammy goes to Ray right away and explains his whole plan to get Carmen out. Ray doesn't understand why he left Florence off of the block if they are supposed to trust each other with votes. He says he literally kept him last night, so there's no reason to flip on him tonight. Sammy apologizes and says there's absolutely no way him or Hannah go home tonight because they have the votes. Carmen and Florence chat about Sammy's nominations. Florence tells Carmen she will need to get Ray or Hannah on board to vote with her or else she might be in trouble. Carmen later talks to Sammy and Ray and asks if they would consider voting out Hannah, but Sammy tells her he wants her out, so campaigning to them doesn't do much good. Ray starts to sweat as Carmen leaves the room. Ray talks to the cameras and talks about how stupid Sammy is. He feels like he could go home 3-1 if Hannah works with Carmen and Florence again, just from Sammy's comment to Carmen just now. Carmen later pulls aside Ray and tells him she doesn't expect Hannah to work with her tonight, so she needs his vote badly. She tells him she wants Hannah out because she's a past winner who has never gone on the chopping block ever this season. That alone makes her a deserving second-time winner. She also says that Sammy just showed his true colors to everyone. He wants to play for himself and not for his friends. She also notes that she and Florence will target Sammy at Final 4, giving Ray an easy ticket to Final 3 since Sammy would definitely evict her or Florence at Final 4. Ray likes the sound of this, but he's still unsure if Carmen is telling the truth. Night 33 hits, and it's time for the eviction discussion. It begins with Sammy explaining his whole plan to everyone in the room, essentially exposing his true motive for putting up Hannah and Ray instead of Florence. Carmen calls his move weird because he put up the 2 people who trusted him and kept him last vote, but now he's putting them in danger. Ray agrees with Carmen that Sammy's move today was very strange and it has gotten him very paranoid with this vote. Sammy apologizes to Ray for surprising him like this. Hannah then speaks up and says she doesn't care that Sammy put her up, because at the end of the day, she still has a vote, and so does Ray. If they stick their 2 votes onto Carmen, Sammy should be sending Carmen home. With that, it's time to find out what happens. Everyone votes, and this vote isn't what people thought it would be. One houseguest received 2 votes, while the other 2 houseguests received 1 vote each. With 2 votes, the next houseguest evicted is Hannah. Hannah grins and gets up as Ray and Carmen both breathe out, relieved they survived. Sammy gets up, confused by the outcome, slightly looking into Ray's direction. Hannah tells everyone to fight hard for their spot in Final 3 and not to stop playing just yet. She says goodbye and heads out.
Hannah's final thoughts. Hannah is extremely satisfied with how she played this season, especially coming in as a past Survivor winner who was known as a social threat. Her biggest regret was taking Pascal out last round, since it opened a window of opportunity for the lower-tier players to take her out right after Pascal. She feels like out of the remaining 4 players, Florence is the best fit to win the game since he's one of the best this season. If not him, she feels like Ray would be an alright winner over the other 2.
It's now after the eviction during night 33, and Florence cries in the kitchen, realizing he lost 2 great friends and allies back to back. He understands what happened to Hannah had to be done because she was a threat, but he didn't have it in him to vote her, so he threw a vote onto Ray since his vote was the ultimate decider. Carmen talks to Ray, thanking him a couple of times for keeping her. She promises that if she or Florence win this final challenge tomorrow, Sammy is gone for sure. Ray says his target is not her, and it's between Sammy or Florence. Sammy finds Ray later in the night and talks to him. He apologizes that he had a terrible nominator reign and regrets putting him up like that. Ray says he felt like he was toyed around with, and he did not like that. He had to enter survival mode and evict Hannah because he didn't know if she would vote Carmen in the end. Day 34 hits, and it's time for the final nominator challenge of the season. In this, everyone will go individually and play inside the gaming device they have practiced all season long. If their gaming skill is high enough, they may compete in this challenge. If not, they are auto-eliminated. In this challenge, the players who are allowed to compete will need to kick, hit, and catch as many balls as possible within a short time period. The player with the highest score after time runs out will win the final nominator, and has the big decision of sending someone home right before the finale. Ray is up first, and he is accepted to compete in this challenge with a high enough level. He ends up scoring 14 points, a good start for this challenge. Florence is up next, and he is denied access to the game as his level isn't high enough, so he's disqualified. Sammy is next, and he is granted access to the game. He ends up with 16 points, taking the lead over Ray now. Carmen is up last, and she is also granted access to the game. She ends up scoring 13 points, meaning Sammy is the winner of the final nominator challenge. The eviction is happening right now, so all 4 houseguests quickly go to get ready and then head for the eviction room. It's just about night 34 now, and all 4 houseguests enter the eviction room. The nominees are Carmen, Florence, and Ray by default due to Sammy winning the challenge. The room is fairly silent for a few minutes as people gather their thoughts. Carmen starts off by making a pitch to Sammy. She says they obviously did not get along this season, but he has to set emotions aside and vote with his head tonight. He needs to focus on cutting Ray or taking a final shot at Florence to boost his winning chances. Florence then goes next for his pitch, and he tells Sammy that if he takes him out, he's taking out someone who got 3rd boot back in BBI Season 2. He claims he never had true power in this game despite the perception of him being influential. Even if he was a power player, he claims the audience never votes just based on gameplay, as proven by Roddy's 2nd place loss in BBI Season 1 after playing the best game that season. Florence reminds Sammy that the most likable person should be the one he sends home. Ray then has his pitch and tells Sammy they have been together since the middle of the game, so they have similar games for the audience to look at when voting in the finale. He tells Sammy he's better off facing him in the finale than keeping both of the others' two nominees because they both combined have a great chance of winning against him. The pitches finish, and Sammy takes all of this into consideration before voting. Sammy then makes his vote in secret, and the result is now going to be revealed. The houseguest with one vote, leaving the game is Carmen. Carmen sighs and gets up with the rest. She says she's not mad at anyone and says she's just happy she made it to top 4. She wishes them luck and heads out soon after.
Carmen's final thoughts. Carmen felt like she had to fight and play every single day non-stop to get to where she got. She understands Sammy's move to take her out right before finale since she feels like she was going to win the whole season. She's ending off the season with 10 nominations, which is something she's actually proud of as she's a proven survivor.
See you all for episode 20 where the finale results come out.
The final 3 has been determined. Either Florence, Ray, or Sammy will be crowned the winner of Big Brother International Season 3. It's your turn to vote, and you will vote for a winner starting very soon. You may vote an unlimited amount of times between now and Friday 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Again, you may vote an unlimited amount of times. You can pour those votes on a single person or more than one. Up to you how you vote. The results will be posted as part of our 20th episode, aka on Saturday morning. Get voting.